written, as you know, at white heat. I mean, Paul is very agitated because he sees the whole thing, his first major missionary project, collapsing before his eyes as people submit to the implicit threat of violence and the communal discord because of the emergence of this new creation, this new family in what we call southern Turkey. And so he's arguing, he's reporting to the Galatians what he argued with Peter in Antioch, when the whole question is, who are you allowed to sit down and eat with? Is it Jews only? Are Gentiles allowed in? And if so, on what under what circumstances? And so Paul, in arguing this out, pulls it down to himself to make it very personal. Not that his experience is sort of you've all got to copy me, but if you understand what's happened to me, Paul, then you'll see why we have to be the people we have to be. So he says, I, through the law, died to the law so that I might live to God. This is a very sharp thing for a Pharisee to say. I died to the law. It means he came out from under the rule of the law in order to find a new life with God. That's an extraordinary thing. He explains, I have been crucified with the Messiah. In other words, a crucified Messiah, if God sends a Messiah and he gets crucified, and that was God's plan, this means that God's whole plan is cruciform, shaped by the cross. So then he says, I am alive, but it isn't me any longer. It's the Messiah who lives in me, and the life I do still live in the flesh. In other words, yes, I'm still a Jew, of course I am, but I am alive by the faithfulness of the Son of God. He was faithful to death. My faithfulness answers that. And then the marvelous line, he loved me and gave himself for me. Paul often does this. He has the general theological statement, and then he makes it much more vivid and personal. And he loved me and gave himself for me. In other words, I cannot turn around and say, I'm just going to carry on and do things my own way, so that we've got a Jewish table over there and a Gentile table over there. He loved me and gave himself for me. I am identified as a Messiah person, and guess what? Because his death dealt with sin, therefore any Gentile sinner who is a Messiah person, he is a sinner or she is a sinner no longer. Therefore, we form the one family, the one body of the Messiah. So this is part of Paul's great argument for the unity of the church, but it's all rooted in the achievement of Jesus, who loved me and gave himself for me.